Ocean Pines is a vibrant residential community nestled on Maryland's eastern shore. With over 9 miles of waterfront property, amenities like an 18-hole championship golf course and a public yacht club, and a rich history dating back to 1968. Of course, if you live here, you probably know most of that. And if you don't, it's almost all apparent from your first visit. Each week on the Pines Cast, we work to bring out the ocean pines that might be less apparent. We celebrate the region, the amenities, and, most of all, the people who make and keep Ocean Pines a special place to live. Welcome to the Pines Cast, your source of news and insights about ocean pines and the official podcast of the Ocean Pines Association. Hi, I'm your host, Tony Russo, and this week on the Pines Cast, we speak with Debbie Donahue. She is the Director of Recreation and Parks for Ocean Pines, and we talk about all the programs that she's done and many of the programs that are coming up. We hit Christmas pretty hard with the expectation that this would have been out a little earlier than we were able to publish it, but I've got excellent news for you. Christmas is coming back. We will have it again next year, and many of these are favorite Christmas activities because they are annual. But there's so much more going on. There's a ton of stuff coming up in the new year, and let's just get right into it. This is Debbie Donahue. So each episode, we like to get to know the person before we talk to them about what they're here to talk about. And obviously, you've got all these programs coming up. But before that, I wanted to know, how did you get to Ocean Pines? Why do you live there, and how did that occur?
So I actually started working in Ocean Pines at the Recreation Department prior to moving here.
Oh.
I've always lived just outside of Ocean Pines in Shaw or Berlin area. I'm not come here. I am a life resident of this area of Worcester County. I moved into Ocean Pines at COVID in 2019. I purchased my home and have decided to, as we advertise, live here, play here, and work here.
So what was your impression of Ocean Pines before that? Like, how long have you been working at Ocean Pines then?
So this will be almost 16 years now in March. I'll be 16.
And so you saw Ocean Pines from the outside and from the inside.
Correct.
What was your impression before you went to work there, and how has it changed, or is it the same having worked there?
No, it's in the beginning of Ocean Pines, it seemed so very inclusive to seniors, because when it first started, that's what the impression was that it was going to be. And then you watched it evolve into families and different opportunities, and how it's grown. There's still kind of a stigma that was always there from the beginning that, it's only Ocean Pines residents able to do certain things. That was one of the hurdles that we had to overcome in different departments, especially in the recreation department, is letting the community know that that's not necessarily the case. Everything that we do is open to everyone. So that was a little bit of a hurdle. Watching it grow, though, was huge for us living here in the surrounding area, because it was a couple of houses here and there, and then all of a sudden it's this whole community, a whole little town of its own that embarked on Ocean Pines and in our area, and it's a great opportunity to, one, live here, but to also work here and be paid for it as an employee, but also being able to give to the community things for all ages, and hoping that we hit all of those different dynamics as we do our programming.
Can you remember going to Ocean Pines before you lived there? Like, did you go to the yacht club restaurant, or did you do any of the recreation stuff before you were paid to?
Yeah. So I would go to the yacht club occasionally before I came to work here. My sons, that are now all grown and getting married, actually would go to the old community center and dances and things like that they had. And then, a couple of times they were involved in different things at the new community center prior to me coming to work here.
And why did you come to work here? Like, what were you doing beforehand, and what appealed about the job?
So I did banking forever and a day. But I also have a volunteer job where I coached cheerleading and ran cheer competitions and fundraisers and special events. So it kind of all fell into line for me. But I actually started at the front desk prior to becoming an event coordinator and prior to becoming the director of recreation.
I'm sorry, at the front desk at Ocean Pines.
Yes, at the recreation department. That's where I started.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And tell me about your meteoric rise then. So how did you move your way up, and how did you decide that, this was kind of the right path? Why did recreation end up appealing to you?
So I think it's just because I'm an athlete at life, and being able to give those opportunities to the kids. Again, the only thing that was really open was at the front desk when Mike was hiring and Sonia was the director at the time. I had known Sonia for many years, and we thought, well, this is the first opportunity that we have, but we can start molding you into different things. I'm a real social butterfly, and I decided we can start doing some bus trips and, meeting people and start bringing some things in. It just kind of took off and started evolving, and Sonia and I worked well together, and we started doing things together as far as kicking off, again, the bus trips again and the sports and summer camp. And it just all started coming together. And it's a fun job. It's a stressful job, but altogether, it really is a nice job to have with all the different avenues that you have. My friends like to ask me how I can consider this a job when I get to go on bus trips and I get to play with kids and all the fun things that we get to do. That's not necessarily considered a job. They have no idea.
And how long before you got this job did you know you were going to get it? Like, did you replace Sonia, or was there somebody between you?
No. So you mean as the director of the department?
Right. Yes.
I had been working with her as a management type person, as an event coordinator, and all the different aspects of that management job, and then was promoted as she left into the director's position.
When you came on, what were some of the things that you definitely wanted to keep, and what were some of the things that you definitely wanted to change, and what were some of the new things that you wanted to bring on?
So one of the things that we definitely want to hold on to and do very well is summer camp. We do that very well. It is full within a day or two, basically, as we start registration. So we work very hard to keep that as a great positive place for the kids to be, and the parents not have to worry about who's taking care of their children all summer, things like that. We do want to bring back, COVID really took a hit on socializing and people getting out and doing things. So now we bring in bus trips and travel vacations. We're also bringing those back again. Those were things that when I got into the position, we wanted to bring more to Ocean Pines and be able to, bring in revenue from those types of things. But we certainly are bringing all that back again. But as far as keeping things the way they were, we have a really good basketball program for the youth of our community. It goes very well. There's certain things like that, our sports, that we have just continued to run because it's like a staple. We just keep doing it, but it fills up every single time. So we must be doing something right, because we hardly ever have openings once we open it up for registration. So those types of things we like to hang on to, but we also, at any given time, we have no problem with bringing in new things like dance class for kids, all kinds of different ideas. And I'm open to any idea. You want to bring it to me and we'll make it work somehow.
Do you have any bus trips planned yet? Or is that something you hope to plan in the coming months?
Yeah, we have New York. We're doing in December. We have DC and Philadelphia that we're doing in the spring. I'm pretty sure I didn't bring the dates with me. I apologize. We have multiple things that we've started working on as well. I have Kevin. He is working on another football game. He's working on 2 Caps games as the season comes around. We're trying to add and come up with things that everybody likes. Not everybody wants to go watch a football game or a hockey game, but I also have the Philadelphia Flower Show that comes up in March. So we try to get the aspect for everybody.
And what's the New York trip like? Do you just drop everybody off on Broadway and
Mhm.
everyone's on their own, or is it like a planned thing?
Yeah, so right now for Christmas, we just take everybody up there. We leave very early, like 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. We take them and they can go do whatever because there's so many things. Obviously, everybody knows that there's so many things to do, but especially at Christmas, with the tree lighting and the ice skating and all the different things and the shopping and window shopping, all the things. So that is a day that we just go do what you want to do. Meet us back here at 6:30 and we'll take you back home. But there's also one in the spring that we just decide to pick, whether it's a Rockette show or it's at the 9/11 museum or go see a different show, anything that we can put together that people would enjoy. That's what we try to do.
And is that something that also people from the outside come, or is that something mostly it's just Ocean Pines people to like do smaller groups form and like these 10 people always travel together, that kind of thing?
Correct. Yeah, it's open to everybody. And we do have a lot of people from outside of Ocean Pines that join us, especially for the one at Christmas. You'll get a lot of residents, but we get quite a few people that are asking for it and the Philadelphia Flower Show. So they call us to see if we're going to do it in like January so that they know that we are offering that trip and they can get signed up and go tell the rest of your family. And usually you'll get 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 that all travel together on our different trips. A lot of families at Christmas for New York.
And as we speak now, it is the beginning of October, and this won't be out until around Thanksgiving time. But how has the fall been to you so far? How did the summer programs all wrap up? Did everything go the way you hoped?
Mhm.
And what do you think you'd like the same or different for next summer and fall?
It was very busy summer, and everything that we had planned went very well. And we're hoping that we just again continue with the summer camp being productive and all the other programs that we run in the summer, concerts in the park. Unfortunately, this year due to the weather, there was a few of them that had to be canceled. We have never had to cancel as many, so
Wow.
unfortunately that was a little bit of a downfall. Every once in a while you might have to cancel one, but this year I had one that we rescheduled and 2 that we had to cancel altogether. That was a little bit of a downfall on that. But other than that, family fun night and everything else that we had planned for the summer did very well.
And now, do you do the booking yourself for those? And how do you choose who you're going to have, based on how popular they were the year before, or if you want to try something new? What does that look like as you're putting your year together?
Once we get all through the budget and everything is approved, then I start reaching out to those that maybe were not here last year because we try to mix it up a little bit, but maybe the year before, a popular band we get just about every year they come. Sometimes it's online, sometimes it's word of mouth, sometimes they're local. It just kind of depends. I sit and I research and I look for different bands, and then we kind of navigate the pricing as to, stay within my budget. And
Mhm.
we schedule them out. It's a little bit difficult for some because it's on a Thursday. Every band plays on weekends, right?
Right.
So it is a little bit difficult for some, but if it's local, it's not because, they're here. But like I have one that comes from Pennsylvania and they will literally turn right around and drive back home. And that's 4.5 hours after 9 o'clock. So, yeah. But we love having them. The community comes out in full force when they come down, and we get them from everywhere. They'll even come from Delaware to watch them sing. So that's a good crowd that we get when the Uptown Band comes.
And do you have a personal highlight? Is there a band that you really are always happy to see?
Yeah, we use On the Edge a lot. They're really good.
Yeah.
But Uptown Band is our usually our opener. This past year they were our end of season big bash for the summer. So they came at the end of the season this year. But like I said, everybody comes out to see them, and a lot of people. It's a good amount of people that come to watch them.
One of the difficulties that I face because I write for a weekly newsletter is the planning out. Every week, every day is a week. Kind of. I always joke that my year only has 52 days in it. I imagine it's not radically different from you. You have 14 or 35 or whatever different events that you do, and that is kind of how you mark your time over the year. What do you think takes the most time to put together, and what has kind of become self-sufficient?
I would say probably what takes the most attention and time is our advertising activity guide that we put together twice a year because it is 6 months at a time. and we try to get everything that we can get in there. And between us and the marketing department, we go over it and over it and over it, and we add and we take out. And, that takes a lot of time, but it also is like one of the biggest advertising pieces that we have,
Right.
to put everything in. So as far as what we spend the most time on, that's it. Now there are events that are longer to be planned. So I might have a class that is one time I've done it, it's all open and closed and done, but then I might have a program that is also 6 months planning before I ever get to it. Some things are pretty simple start to finish, and then some things just take a little longer.
Hey there, listeners. Are you in the Ocean Pines area and looking for a pharmacy that goes above and beyond? Look no further than Tidal Health Home Scripts. Open 6 days a week, our knowledgeable pharmacists are ready to fill your prescriptions in just minutes. Plus, we offer free home delivery in the Ocean Pines area and have a super convenient drive-through window. Need over-the-counter items? We've got a large selection. And with our monthly sales, you'll find everything you need at great prices. Conveniently located at the North Gate of Ocean Pines, Tidal Health Home Scripts is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. To fill a prescription or arrange for a free home delivery, give us a call at 410-543-4769. That's 410-543-4769. Remember, that's Tidal Health Home Scripts, your trusted pharmacy partner.
And you've got the rest of the year ahead of you now. So can you tell me about some of the things that you guys have coming up for the holidays?
Every year we have a tree lighting, where we have community organizations, families, businesses. They sponsor trees, and we, along with Public Works, we go and pick up live trees from a tree farm in Smyrna, and we put them in White Horse Park. And then they have signs, as to who sponsored them. We have a whole tree lighting event where, we do the countdown, everybody lights their trees, and then we do the whole countdown event, cookies, hot chocolate. It's a whole cool little start off the holiday season, and that is on November 30th this year.
I'm sorry, I need to ask you a question about that. Who decorates the trees? Does everyone decorate their own tree, or do you decorate all the trees and I just, like, if I sponsored a tree, would I come and decorate it, or do you decorate all the trees?
You would decorate your own. So a lot of people, like, depending on, I'll just use a real estate friend of mine. She comes and she sponsors a tree, but she decides, I want all these little clips that I'm going to put all over it because it's going to have my name or my face on it. Businesses like Public Works, we use all kinds of different little things like little cones, things that pertain to the person or the business. And then you have some that are doing it in memory of, that will come out and decorate it however, with Christmas bulbs or garland or lights or however they choose.
And does that happen on the 30th as well, or does that happen on the 28th? Or
Yeah, that's the week before. So once the trees are all set, which usually happens at the beginning of that week, then everybody has until that Friday or Saturday morning, but basically that Friday to get everything all done and set. We get all the signs put in, everything's all decorated. Then we just have everybody, you're at your tree at time of lighting, and then we call out who they are, the sponsors, the numbers, and then each one of the trees gets lit all the way down to the big tree in the pavilion. And then Santa's in his house. Because we also have Santa's house in the park.
And I guess that the line must be around the block for that one.
On that day, yes, sir. Yes. But he's only there on that night. I'm thinking that this year we might be able to have a couple of extra Saturdays, but we're still working on that scheduling.
When you say that, it gives me the impression that you do have a kind of like a running thing going on. So what are some of the other inter-holiday events that you guys do?
So we're going to do Breakfast with Santa this year again. We also, on the same day as Breakfast with Santa, is what we call Reindeer Lane. And that is where we have had donated items that we purchase, things like that, for children to purchase gifts for their parents, grandparents, whoever they want to purchase them for. They get to actually go shopping, purchase those gifts for themselves. So that's one of the things that we do every year, and it goes really well. And the kids love to be able to go in and pick something for mom and dad and have their own money. So that's a fun thing. And everything in the reindeer lane is very minimal. Very minimal for a kid coming in with $20. They hit the jackpot in that room. So everything in there is very, very minimal cost to purchase items. Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you a personal story. I have a brother who is 20 years younger than me, and he bought me a desk toy, one of those water things where the gear turns and the water goes upside down. It's got oil in it or whatever.
Yes.
He went at one of those things for like a nickel when he was in kindergarten, which was a full 30-ish years ago. I still have it on my desk. The oil is gone, and now it's just a clear thing of water that goes up and down. The oil just dissipates after 30 years. So make sure you get your warranty card.
I'll make sure my warranty works up to date. The oil just goes away after a while. You are so funny, but I think that's really cool. You still have that.
Yeah, my grandkids play with it now, and it's like a thing now. Sometimes things accidentally become a thing. That's one of them. That's a piece of garbage he bought 1,000 years ago at one of those Christmas fairs.
But now it's a family heirloom.
Yeah.
That's great. But I also want to talk to you about one of the other groups and organizations that we work with at Christmas, and it is Be a Santa to a Senior. And we work with Home Instead to provide Christmas gifts to seniors in different facilities in the community. So what they do is they come out, they bring a Christmas tree that we put in the lobby of the recreation department, and they have little tags that they stick on the Christmas tree, and all it'll say is like a first name, John, Susie, whatnot. They know who that belongs to. And it'll be, that tag will have a couple of items that person has asked for Christmas. And people from the community, they wait for it. Like they call us to want to know when that tree's going to be up, when they can come get their tag. So what they do is they come get the tag, they go buy the gift or gifts. If they want to fill the whole thing, that's entirely up to them. They wrap the gift, they bring it back with the tag on it, and then Home Instead will come and pick them all up and disperse those gifts to those persons in the facilities that we have sponsored. So it's really a cool thing, but the community really comes together to support those people that come to us on those Christmas gifts. And
again, we're recording early, so it's likely that is underway as November comes to an end.
Absolutely, right? It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think that starts in November, and the last day of picking up and dropping off will be like December 2nd, I think it is. Because they have a lot of people that they need to deliver to and get it all organized and stuff. So they need some time to get it together.
Let's make the call to action. If you still have your tag at home, make sure you bring it.
Bring that tag back.
And what are some of the other things that you have going on at Christmas time? Because do you do a big New Year's Eve thing? Do you do a big Christmas thing?
So we don't do New Year's Eve because there's a big thing at the yacht club every year. So we just allow, let that be that. We do feel that a lot of people would be there and we would be competing, and we don't necessarily want to do that, obviously. Right. But this year, one of the big things that we are doing is we are partnering with, I don't know that I want to say partnering, we are hosting the Vienna Boys Choir. At the convention center in Ocean City, because the facility needed to be much larger than we were able to obviously put together here in Ocean Pines. We have gone into Ocean City, the convention center and the PAC Center, and we are going to have them in December. They are coming in from, obviously they tour all over the world. There's a few different groups and stuff, but this will be the first time that they've been on the Eastern Shore, which is great for us. That they'll be in town and performing on December the 10th at the PAC Center. It's a great idea that Kevin came up with in our event coordinator department. And it's really going well right now. It's a lot of pieces. That's one of those things I was telling you about that sometimes you can put it together and it's a start and finish in a week. This has been 6 months in the making. And, we're putting all the pieces together, making sure we're following all the rules, doing everything that we need to do. That way in December, we'll have an amazing event. Now, if I can add just a little thing here, etix.com is where you go to get those tickets.
And again, link in the show notes.
Perfect.
And are there any other events that you want to talk about?
I think that's it for right now as far as holiday events. Obviously, we have our youth basketball program that starts. We have the clinic in December. The league will start in January. All of those soccer indoors and outdoors for youth kids. We have all those same different things that start as the holiday starts to go away and the beginning of the year comes, and then we start planning for the spring and summer all over again. So it's a revolving circle. We just keep running.
Very cool. And that's all I have for you, unless you have something else for me. Is there something I should have asked and didn't, or something that you thought you'd get the opportunity to say, but I didn't provide it?
No, I think everything's good. We talked about all the different things that are coming up for the holiday, the guide, and getting that information through there. Obviously, we have a Facebook page and the website that Josh and Nancy take care of. So there's all kinds of avenues to get all kinds of information about different seminars. They're free seminars, community organizations that we have at the recreation department. There's tons of stuff. So look in the guide, give us a call, and we can probably hook you up with just about anything that you might want to do in our little neighborhood of Ocean Pines.
Excellent. Well, thank you so very much for your time and for sharing your story with me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
The Pines Cast is an Ocean Pines Association production. It was written and edited by me, Tony Russo. Executive producer, Josh Davis. Please subscribe wherever you are listening now, or follow if you're on Apple. If you like the show, please tell someone else about it, because that is the best way to get the word out. Every week I say it, and this is a week, so I'm saying it. I would love to have your feedback, and I would love to keep this conversation going. So if you care to email me, you can do that at bytonyrusso@gmail.com. That is bytonyrusso@gmail.com. If, for example, there's a story that you want to tell, but you don't want to be on the show to tell it, or there's a story you want me to find out about and have someone else tell it, shoot me an email. I'll get it all worked out. And of course, we would love to have your ratings and reviews on the app of your choice. But mostly, we want you to listen to the show. We want you to like the show. And as I said, we would very much like it if you told other people about it. You can also send along comments or questions that we will address in future shows as is possible and appropriate. And that is all for this week on the Pines Cast.